Hello, my name is Jeremy with Forward Electric and Air Conditioning in Palm City, Florida. Today I'd like to share with you how to properly wire and install a low voltage landscape lighting fixture. Also included is a badly damaged landscape lighting fixture that was improperly installed. What we have here is an improperly wired low voltage landscape lighting fixture. And when I say improperly wired, what I mean by that is, if you'll notice at the end connections here, this part was buried underground with wire nuts. These are not weatherproof, nor are they waterproof wire nuts. Also, if you'll notice, up in the stake of the fixture, whoever installed this twisted all of these wires together, and this is a big no-no. When wires are twisted like this, it generates a lot of heat and creates a lot of resistance for the power coming through these wires. Picture it as if it was an electric range. You know the older electric ranges with the coily cooktops? Ever wonder why it gets so hot? Do you see any similarities with the wiring in an electric range cooktop? Next, I'd like to show you what the outcome is of one of these fixtures that was improperly wired. Over here we have the remnants of an improperly wired fixture. As you can see, the wire nuts here that were buried underground, this is where the fire had actually started. What happened is the corrosion underneath these wire nuts created a lot of resistance, which created heat up through the path of this wire, which then also hit where the wires were wound together and created a lot more heat. Now this thing had sat for several days and smoldered, and finally caught fire after probably about 3 or 4 days, and it was within 2 to 3 feet of the house. Next, I'd like to show you how to properly wire a low voltage landscape lighting fixture. Now what we have here is a low voltage landscape lighting fixture that I'm going to show you how to properly wire with a crimp-on connector. Here we have the crimp-on connector that has 2 slots, a larger one and a smaller one. The larger slot is where you would feed your feed wire that comes from your transformer through here. Next, you would take the smaller wire from the fixture. Notice the length of the cord on this fixture. Insert it into the smaller section of the crimp-on connector. Take your screwdriver and screw it down until you can't screw no more. You don't need to over-tighten. Next, we would take electrical rubber tape and we would wrap this connection all the way around until there was no more air pockets. I prefer electrical rubber tape because it is double-sided, it has stickiness on both sides, and it adheres better to the wires and the connector. Next, what we would do is we would get a product that's called Scotch Coat. It's almost as if it's like a liquid tar. We would take that tar and then we would coat around the rubber tape. Once that was complete, we would let that dry for 2 minutes before we buried the connection. This here is how you properly wire a low voltage landscape lighting fixture.